morning, you bad, beautiful bitches, you. This episode, this is going to get a little crazy, okay? We have an alcoholic beverage on the show here. Must be 21 years of age or older to drink.
Yep.
Little company called Celly over here. Boston-based Seltzer brand. Hello.
Ever heard of it?
And we're with the two founders today. A little family-owned and operated company. I think it's only appropriate if we crack these things open, gang. Am I right?
Roger that.
Let's get it going.
Little... Even sounds good.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Wow. Cheers, gang. Big in on the end.
Yeah.
We're sucking down a Celly vodka soda, blueberry pomegranate, 5% alcohol by volume.
Very dangerous stuff.
Isn't
because
it
that is
incredible?
good. That is good.
Isn't it so good?
It's almost a little too good.
It's almost a little, I'm a little suspicious of the founders here. Okay,
Well,
it's a little too good.
That's great to hear. I mean, I feel like the whole goal was creating something that kind of takes the edge off the alcohol and
Yes.
can be a little dangerous. You don't actually taste the
Right,
alcohol as much.
right.
It's really that juice, that real fruit juice coming through and making it really smooth and easy to drink.
This is just...
Colin knows. So we were just talking about this on our last episode. I am a notorious non-drinker. Like I'll go out and I'll sit on a Moscow Mule and I look over and we'll no more get. Colin gets his beer. I got my Moscow Mule. I'll take one little sip through my straw and I look back over and Colin's like, I'm gonna go up and get another one. You want?
Right.
And I'm like, no, I'm good. But I don't like the alcohol taste. And this, there's no alcohol taste.
Yeah.
Like this really tastes like a fruit beverage that I'm drinking here. You know?
It really is good. That's the other thing. While I'll stay on the light beers,
Yes.
is because I'm trying to get away from that taste where it's like a really
booze
strong,
taste.
it just tastes the aftertaste that stays in your mouth.
Yes.
And seltzers, I mean, the carbonation, I think that's a huge
Yes.
thing for
Right.
people right now. They don't want a drink that is, just going to bloat them so much and they're burping. So
Right.
what we did when we were formulating, we actually lowered the carbonation level to the point where it still has a hint of it, so you still get that refreshing nature of a carbonated beverage.
Right.
But it is so light that it just makes it really easy to drink, and you're not going to get that same bloating effect.
Right.
Exactly.
And if you're watching this and you're wondering, why are the two guys in the middle so damn handsome? It's because they're related, all right? These are two brothers that founded this company with dad.
Yep.
Hello.
Yep. Can't forget Dad.
Yes, dad's in the mix. The two brothers are in the mix. Let's go all the way to the start. Why Celly? How'd we land on the name? And then why vodka seltzers?
So we probably had, I don't know, Tyler, probably like 4 notebooks full of just like names written down and everything. We landed on Celly because we wanted to exude positivity in the space, right? Celly, short for celebration, just to have the good times, right? So.
The bee's got to scoop you up in a
I
heartbeat.
was just gonna
like
say,
that
dude, a hockey market with the Celly name.
Yeah,
that
and you have a hockey face to you. Like, doesn't
Everyone
it?
says that.
You look like a pro.
Everyone
Like
says
people
that.
are gonna
Got the
think.
flow, too.
It's the nose, it's the hair, so
You
I can't
really-
skate for the life of me, though. I'm Bambi on skates.
Okay,
It's awful.
I'm the
Yeah,
same.
it's-
Vegan actually played hockey.
Oh yeah,
I can't.
ex-hockey player.
Yeah, I can't skate
Love it.
for
What position?
shit.
What?
What position?
Defense.
Ooh, okay.
Hello.
Defense towards the end, offense in the beginning. You know how it is. Everything, right? But no. I mean, going into Celly, like, what is the operation behind starting a beverage, making your own beverage?
Yeah, so, it all started, I've been in the beverage space for a few years now. I know Kevin knows, but, most people probably don't. I started a healthy energy drink mix a few years back, and I've always been super fascinated with like beverage, food, just consumer goods in general, and came out with a better for you energy drink mix. And that started to kind of do okay. And people kept coming to me saying, hey, you got to get in the alcohol space. I mean, you're going out all the time. Like, you love the space. Like, your energy drink's great. You could probably make a pretty good tasting alcoholic beverage. And it was funny. I just kind of said, I don't have the time or the money to do another brand. And at the time, John, my brother, was living with me. And he wanted to start his own business. And he loved the alcohol space as well. And he said, look, if we kind of do this together, that can kind of give you time to still work on your main business, and we can kind of do this together. And we said, all right, why not? We don't bring my dad in, have the three of us, kind of run and operate this thing, because it's a very time-consuming thing. It's boots on the ground, it's in the stores, it's kind of nonstop work. So I really wasn't able to go at this alone. I was lucky enough, my brother and my father both wanted to also do a beverage, and we said, why not just do it together and let's just get this started.
Very entrepreneurial family over there. And the dad, these guys are great, but dad's got one of the greatest names on the planet. His name's Kevin. He's just, what a stud of a guy, okay? Is dad who, like, when you guys were growing up, was dad the one to somewhat promote business in the household?
Oh,
or at least promote, hey, like, once you guys are of age and graduated, you don't have to go work for someone else. You can start your own business.
Absolutely. He's nailed it into the ground, the entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah.
Alcohol's already done.
Yeah, I know. Stumble a little bit here. Yeah.
Colin and I are a big fan of, if you'll notice it with him and I, if you mess up your words at all,
please call
we're
me
like
out.
an officer.
Please
we're like
call me out.
hands.
Yeah.
Where I can see
I
that.
didn't like the way that sounded.
Let's dial that back a little bit.
Back to you. Dad was nailing you both.
Oh man, no, but from a young age, he sort of just ingrained that in our heads,
right?
Just to always work for yourself, control your own destiny. So
I love
definitely
that.
grateful for him.
He was huge on that, and I think, like, honestly, both our parents, like, they were both like so incredibly encouraging, and I think, to be honest, that was like the biggest blessing growing up, like to have two parents in your house that just believe in you so much and are really willing to do whatever it takes to, like, make sure that you're living out your dream. And I think they saw that in us, that we were a little entrepreneurial. We really wanted to kind of go do our own thing. So, they both worked extremely hard and, like, put us in a position where we were, like, able to actually go do that.
Right,
so,
right.
All the props in the world to them to, like, help us get to this point, honestly.
I love that. You have the idea. You guys are living together. You want to start a business. Mm-hmm. What's step one to, now we have the finished product, and outside looking in, it always seems so easy. It's like, you wake up, you buy some cans,
right?
You fill it with liquid,
right?
It'll sell, right? But how did we get here to the actual canned product?
Yes. Do you want to take that one, or?
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, it just started off as like we discussed, it was probably a 2-year process between, designing, but also formulating. We probably went through maybe 116 iterations of our product.
Really?
Yeah, back and forth. And yeah, so that's kind of what started it out. And then we, of course, did a lot of market research as well, bringing our friends, getting them involved, trying the product, tweaking it here and there. And then we fully made the design and everything, started contacting distributors left and right, have had great success in that, have unbelievable distribution partners. And that's probably the toughest part, honestly, is having that distribution.
Right,
honestly.
right.
So, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think it's something that people do kind of like overcomplicate a little bit, because, you're right. Sometimes outside looking in, you're like, you put liquid in a can, you start selling it, it's not that hard. But in the same light, sometimes people overcomplicate it, and they sit there and like, oh my God, there's a trillion things to do. Well, it's like, if you break it down, you say, okay, come up with a product concept. Figure out what that concept is. What does your kind of brand stand for? What's the positioning you want to have? Then you start going after and, like, actually formulating. You start kind of putting things together. Okay, we know we want a less carbonated, vodka-based seltzer product that has real fruit juice in it. Great. Let's find someone to help us make that. They send us a bunch of samples. We do the taste testing. While that's going on, we're going out figuring out, okay, what is our branding? What do we stand for? What do we want our packaging to look like? So formulation's going on. We're doing some branding work. And then we start hitting up the distributors. And we're saying, hey, look, we have this new product. We have a pretty nice, relationship with the people of Boston, I would say, being from the area. We know a lot of people in the space. Let's get this product out there. Can you help us distribute? Because that's something people don't know, is we can't sell this directly to, like, a liquor store or a bar.
Right.
You have to go through a distributor.
Really?
Just because it was after Prohibition, they came up with all these laws that it's essentially a 3-tier system. So you have a manufacturer of alcohol, a distributor, and then the end retailer. So if you don't have that distributor willing to bring your product in, you can't sell your product.
Right, right.
So we were fortunate enough. My father actually had worked in the logistics space for a while and was connected with one of the distributors here in Boston who distributes a lot of big brands. And they were willing to give us a chance, a very small chance, but nonetheless a chance. And once we got in there, we were then able to leverage that relationship, get into a few more other distributors, and eventually kind of roll this thing out.
Right. And these are sold at Colin's favorite bar. If you go into Loco, you're going to see two things when you walk into Loco. You're going to see Colin sitting with 4 Bud Lights and Celly.
I promise you, I'll go crazy with the marketing on this shit.
Here we go.
Because it's every time we walk in there, I will.
Oh, he will.
We
Colin
walk in
will.
there, and it's everybody knows everybody. Oh,
Yes.
what's up? It'll be.
Colin is the mayor.
They'll be.
We have to
they'll
do
be
a
doing the
day out with the
Cellies
four of
with
us.
Oh, yeah.
With Colin, Kyle's now going to be like, I'm getting featured on every episode. We were just talking about Kyle last episode. Colin, the three of us, Colin and this kid Kyle.
Yeah.
When Colin and Kyle go to Southie, I just sit right behind them. And they're shaking hands, they're signing babies' foreheads. There's no joke. We'll pass the line at Lincoln or Loco, and it's 1,000 people deep.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a little more like, are you guys sure? Like, I mean, it's a lot of people we're cutting here. And Kyle and Colin go right up. Oh, there they are.
Right.
And the bouncer says, and then boom, we're all in before we know it.
We put in our time there. That's what I mean.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, dude, seriously, no joke. If we start going, like, if we start going out around there, we go out.
every Friday.
When we go out around there, dude, and we start, like, pounding a couple Cellys.
Totally. It's over. Domino effect.
Come on.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing in the space.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at it, you have, brands like Anheuser-Busch who are spending billions of dollars a year on marketing. And it's because there's so much competition. It is so saturated that you really need the marketing dollars and the creativity to be able to push the product out there and make it be a product that people want to buy.
Right.
And it starts with things like that, going to the bars, which is what Johnny and I do. We go to the bars, Loco, Greatest Bar, what have you, that have Celly, and we're there and we're just pushing the product. We're drinking it ourselves.
Right.
We're buying it for other people. We're really trying to push it because that's ultimately what it takes. And once people try it, they're like, oh, that's pretty good.
Right.
And they put a face to the people that actually are behind it. Like,
Totally.
they're decent enough people. We're fine supporting it.
Right.
Beautiful humans.
And it just is, it's like if you're going to drink a seltzer, why not be a Celly?
Right.
So, and that's what it comes down
And
to.
then, they go out to the bar. Hey, try a Celly. They take a sip of it, and they're like, shit, that's better than the freaking drink I was about to go
Right.
get, dude.
Exactly.
You know,
Now
all
that
right,
you've-
fine, fuck it. I'll take a Celly.
Right.
Exactly.
Now that you've had, majority of that can.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I can hear it when you clink it down. I can tell the weight
Bro,
of it. I'm like, that thing's near empty.
I'm telling you, tomorrow, I'm just, I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm going to be
How good are
Celly.
those?
Dude, these are dangerously
Are they
good.
insane?
And I do like blueberries, so maybe I'm a little, because I'm coming in like a blueberry guy anyway.
Right,
But at the
right.
same time, like, this is, I'm telling you.
And what are
Wicked
we
good.
drinking here? Like, walk me through. I see like made with real fruit juice. What's in here?
So yeah, it's a vodka base because most seltzers early on were using a malt liquor, which is essentially fermented sugar. And once people started kind of figuring that out, they're like, it's probably not what I want to be putting in my body. Not that alcohol in general's, the healthiest thing in the world. But
If I'm going to do heroin, it better be top of the line.
gluten free.
It better went to private school heroin.
Funny enough,
Is it
this
keto?
is gluten free.
Oh, yeah.
Did you read that on the can? Or is that a total guess? Oh, you're right.
I've seen it.
No added sugar, 100 calories, gluten free.
Boom.
Have to throw on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that vodka
Yeah.
base with seltzer water, real fruit juice, and there's 2 grams of sugar in a whole can, and that comes from the real fruit juice. We're not
Right.
adding more sugar
Right.
in there to kind of sweeten it. I think it's at a pretty good level of sweetness, and to be able to cut out sugar in any way is
Totally.
great. And
Oh,
people
it's
don't
always a
mind
plus.
it if it's a couple grams and it's from fruit juice.
Right.
No,
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Exactly.
We're not putting in any extra artificial stuff in there to sweeten it. So
Right.
It's like when you take a bite out of an apple, you're going to have some sugar
Yep.
in there.
Right.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's scrumptious, okay? Where else can they can go to Loco and get this? If I go to Market Basket, can I see this in Market Basket? If you're in, say, New Hampshire area, like where else can I buy these?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're fortunate enough to be in all the major chains here. So Total Wine, all the Cappies, Market Baskets, Blanchards. Am I missing a couple?
No, I mean, Market Basket up in New Hampshire, the City up in New Hampshire, which is another big one. But, John does a lot of like our day-to-day sales. So he's actually out there meeting with stores, developing those relationships, getting our product into the stores. And my dad's now helping a lot with that as well. But, he's done a pretty good job of just getting it into all the places we need to be.
Right.
So-
look at that, brotherly love. Two brothers hugging it out. This is what would you say the 3 toughest things are of running a family business? Working with your brother and your dad, whether it's a day-to-day thing or, that's a lot of cooks in the kitchen potentially with kind of equal say. Like what is the hardest, top 3 things, the hardest 3 things of running a family-owned business?
That's tough. I mean, everyone always says don't mix blood and business, but I mean, we're crushing it right now. We haven't really gotten to any tiffs. I don't know. Have we?
They sword fought 3 hours ago. We were on 93. It's not two guys giving each other the finger. Yeah. No, you didn't.
I think, at least for me, the biggest challenge was like I went from running a business completely alone with Wake Up Water to now having two partners who I am in no way, shape, or form above them. I can't tell people what to do. There might be some instances where they say, oh, Tyler, you've been in the space for a couple of years. Like, do you have any insights here, any experience that can help us here? But it is, it's a democracy. We're all, involved. And, you can't always necessarily steer the ship. And I think that's been like a learning curve for me a little bit is kind of taking two other people's perspectives into the mix and then sitting down collectively and figuring out like the best path forward. It's something we're still working on, still getting better at. But I think we've done a pretty good job thus far of like kind of navigating that. But that's kind of really the only challenge for me. I mean, our family's super tight knit. I mean, I'm one of 6 kids, so John's one of my 5 siblings, and we just have always been like super close growing up. So even if there are like little tiffs here and there, it doesn't last for very long. Like we might just, call each other dumb or something. And then like, we're just out there doing it again. You know what I mean? So, and our dad's the same way. I mean, he's, a very straight shooter. He's, you've met him before. He's, an Irish Catholic traditional guy. He'll just say it how it is and take it or leave it. But then 2 seconds later, he's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of having a tough skin and realizing your family at the end of the day, there's going to be no other people that you trust more to go out and fight and get the job done. So I wouldn't change it for anything.
Amen.
It would be hilarious if when you guys partnered up, it's like your dad and you come into your room and it's like oil painting of you, and you're like a North Korean dictator.
No, I'm definitely not like that. I mean, especially like now where like John has more experience now going into liquor stores and like having those conversations. So for me to come in, like I know the retail space enough to be dangerous. Like I think I know more than the average person. I definitely have had experience with it, but if you're not doing it every day and you have someone who is, you have to trust that they know more than you in that capacity, and like being able to kind of like check your ego at the door and be like, okay, like that must be the case, or at least I'm going to trust that for now, until we learn otherwise, if that's the case. So it's just kind of like trusting one another and like being able to realize like you don't know everything, and you might be wrong sometimes.
I love that.
Exactly.
What would you say the hardest thing is about getting into retail? Like it's such a competitive space. I'm imagining like new business owners that might listen to this that may be in a similar space or just in the product space in general that are maybe only, I know it's tough to sell like booze online obviously, but maybe they're only doing e-commerce right now and they're like, ooh, how do you go about getting into a Market Basket, a Total Wine? Like is that all, I'm assuming, relationship based?
Yeah, honestly, the alcohol space is 90% relationships, honestly. At the end of the day is you have to understand who is the right person, who's making the decisions. And then honestly, once you get in, that's honestly might be the hardest part is, having that sell through.
Making sure it sells.
Making sure it sells, exactly. And we're only a team of 3 people, small family business based in Southie, so we're going up against the, massive conglomerates, billion-dollar brands left and right, backed by celebrities and billionaires. So, I think we're doing, exceptionally well. So,
I think, it's really that relationship. I mean, to have relationships like all along the way with your manufacturers, distributors, retailers, being able to tell a good story. I think when we go into a liquor store, it isn't just another alcohol brand. It's, hey, we're a father and 2 sons who are working together to kind of create the local go-to seltzer out here. We would love to work with you guys. We have a lot of friends and family in the area. We're going to do our best to help you sell it. We're going to be in here all the time, and we really put our money where the mouth is. I mean, we sample like crazy in liquor stores every single week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I mean,
is that all every Thursday through Saturday pretty much?
I mean, when people are going out and buying alcohol, if they're just going into the store, I mean, everyone's been in an alcohol store. There are tons of brands out there. So it's one, getting in there and making sure that you have good placements in the store. So like finding spots where Celly can stand out and pop, and maybe we build a little display so it catches people's eyes. And then next, it's going in and sampling. So having that product, going and sampling, giving people product to try, telling them the story. So we do that Thursday through Saturday, like without fail. My dad is probably the biggest workhorse about that. I mean, he'll go into liquor stores for like 8 hours on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Like longer than a high school day.
He's
in there.
No, he's so committed. He's 60 years old. He's always loved business.
He's
always
great.
wanted to do his own thing, and he's all in. So to have someone like him, doing this with us is awesome.
I'll still go in a liquor store, and when I get to the counter, I'm always like, oh God, what if they know? What if they know I'm not 21?
Right.
I still feel 11 years old with a grocery cart of booze.
Right.
I'm like, oh God, what if they catch my fake?
Right.
I was like, I can't get over that feeling. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like absolutely possible. This might be a good time to announce how we all met.
Yeah.
We did a deal like a year ago.
Yeah.
This time last year, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
this
so.
time last year, I think. Yeah.
So it's interesting, and this is like I was saying this to Georgina, my manager. We've done vodka soda brand deals before, and you do them, and you're almost like, I don't want to say dissatisfied, but you're like, like we're just here for the paycheck, you know. But then
You're honest.
I had Celly come in, and I was like, her name's Georgina. I was like, Georgina, what the hell are these Cellys? It's like they're fucking amazing. I was like, these things are.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
And it was the first vodka. So it's funny. I'm like Colin knows this. I'm a religious Moscow Mule drinker. Like that is my go-to.
Right. Like a gentleman.
Like a gentleman. You know, if it doesn't come in a copper mug, I send it back. You know. And then if we're like in a pinch or at a dive bar or something, it'll be a high noon. And I was like,
Not anymore.
No more.
Not anymore.
No more.
Not anymore.
I was gonna say we got to change that.
Celly is your new replacement. If you're sucking
Celly.
down high noons, what's the slogan? Sun's up or something like that?
Sun's up.
Well, the moon's up now because it's time to celebrate, all right? Good
Every
Lord.
day is a celebration.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is the perfect thing to get you back in Southie now. It's like,
I
let's go
know.
there, have a couple Cellys.
I knew this part. You know what's
Yep.
so
Yep.
we became partners in this family business. They bring the first outsider in, which I was like, I was saying this to you guys last time we met. I'm imagining me, and so I have two sisters. I'm
Yep.
imagining like me and my twin sister going into business with, say, my dad. And then bringing, Colin laughs because my dad's like your dad, like
scenario.
old school Irish Catholic dude.
Yeah.
Colleen is like the most bougie thing that's ever hit Earth. You know, I don't even know what we would sell. I don't even know what that business would look like. But to bring in an non-blood, an outsider, I'm thinking for us, I was like, wow, like that would just be a huge leap for us as like a small business.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I am forever thankful for you guys for pulling me into the family business.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think after that first partnership that we did with you, we said, all right, like we love this guy's content. Like it seems like the brand is kind of on, brand for him. Absolutely. And we were sitting there, we're like, all right, there's kind of three puzzle pieces to, having a successful beverage. It's like, you got to have the liquid. Liquid's got to be great, which we feel like, we've done.
Liquid's great.
And then the second piece is like having like strong distribution partners to be able to get your product out there. So now once you have the product, you can get it out there. Now it's building up that marketing presence, that brand exposure and brand awareness to convince people to want to come in and actually buy your product.
right.
So that marketing piece is kind of like that missing puzzle piece for us right now because we are a bootstrapped brand.
Right.
We didn't have millions of dollars behind us. And so we tried to figure out ways to kind of put out content, gain a bit of a following. And John and I have done as much as we possibly could, but we said we could really take this thing to the next level if we had somebody who's, built up a little bit of a following, who can kind of help us on the front lines, get this product out there to more people. And it just kind of seamlessly fit. And we met for coffee that one time.
Yep.
And it just like kind of clicked. It just made sense.
Totally.
I feel like we kind of think about things a similar way. Like
Totally.
people who know both of us think we're like kind of similar, and
we
we're
were
like,
throwing
all right.
out mentor names where I was like, oh!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we follow the same type of people. So it was just like it was a very comfortable vibe. And I went back to John and my dad and I said, look, I think Kevin can really help us with this stuff. And they were like, let's absolutely have a conversation. And the more we talked about it, the more it made sense. And, we hashed out all the, the paperwork and all that stuff. And then we were good to go.
I signed that paperwork on the way to New York. I've never felt like more of an adult in my life. I was like, wow, I was like, look at this. And then insert your boy over here. And I was like, not only is this deal fruitful for everybody, you know who this deal is really fruitful for? Colin over here. Because I'm not joking. I have pretty much retired going out. Like if we go out now, it's like a dinner and maybe espresso martini after that at a different spot. And then I would feel horrible because Colin loves going out.
Yeah.
I
and
like
rightfully
going
so.
out for a couple drinks, nothing crazy.
And now with Celly, let me tell you, we are going to be all the way back.
Actually,
going
this
out.
is gonna be great, dude.
It's
Because I'm
gonna
always
be-
just like, dude, you want to meet me at Loco? And he's like,
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I literally live like 2 blocks from Loco. Like
Really?
I'm so close.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
they're
why
right
it's even
there.
more. I'm right there.
They're right there.
So, a couple Instagram videos of us sucking down some Cellys at Loco, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Game over.
Doesn't sound
over.
bad.
No, I will
Twist
not
my
be
arm.
there.
Right.
Yeah. When we signed this deal, I was smirking because I'm like, oh man. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wait till I call Colin. And I'm like, hey, Friday, what are you doing? You want to go
Well,
out?
now you got to drag him out. Now you gotta-
I know. Now we're there.
Now it's now you don't have to drag me out. I'll
Nope.
already be there with a bucket of these, and I'll be like,
well,
yeah,
listen,
well,
I told them to put the Cellys on ice.
yeah. Does Celly have a slogan yet?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, we say every day is a celebration.
There
So
you go.
because I mean, we really want to be part of like any of the good times in people's lives. Like whether it's going out and meeting Colin for a couple drinks,
Right.
Whether it's a graduation, a wedding,
Quinceañera.
a basketball, the Celtics game, whatever it is, we really want to be part of that event with you guys, and we want to like help bring the good times.
Right.
So it's kind of like synonymous with just having a good time.
Right.
And,
I love it. The name itself is brilliant. Celly.
Perfect.
Yeah, God. What would you say once you guys came up with the name? You now have the formula. You said you went through 100 and what was it? Renditions of
It was
the.
like 116 or something like
There's a
that.
lot of
It
samples
was,
we had to
yeah.
When did you, after that? Was it like your taste buds were fried and you're like, all right, whatever the next
just hammered.
the 116th.
Well, that was the
do?
fun part. That was, I mean,
exactly.
me and Tyler were just cooped up in our apartment, just housing some of these guys. And
yeah.
Right.
It was the fun part.
Oh,
you
it was
know?
great. And we had friends come over and like shout out. I mean, we have truly like the best friends in the world. I mean, they're like the most supportive people in the world.
Yeah. Mhm.
If it could have been on a Tuesday at 9:00. Hey, samples just came in. Can you guys come over? They're over. Any event we do at a bar, we pack the place. We sold out Greatest Bar,
I
like
love
200
that.
plus people. Loco, I was telling Colin before earlier. I mean, we went to Loco the first weekend, and I think like the next 2 or 3 weekends after that, every weekend we were there, we completely sold out of Celly's because
Really?
people are going there, our friends, and just supporting it. So like, massive shout out to everybody who's been there along the way. I think we're still in the early stages, but we're building something special, and it means so much more to be doing it like with your friends. It's just the coolest thing in the world.
Totally.
Absolutely.
That's got to be the best part.
Oh, it's the best.
there.
It's the best. To be able to go out with your friends and just drink your product,
Right,
and
right.
it's just
Oh,
the
it's
best.
the coolest feeling in
It's
the
the
entire
best.
world.
Then talk to chicks and be like, what are you drinking? I'm drinking a Celly.
Oh, that's great. This is an ad. Little like banner comes across the screen. Like, where's the banner coming from?
Right, exactly. Then it's like, all right, well, what? I'll grab them a drink.
Hello.
2 Cellys.
2 Cellies.
Makes
All
it easy.
around.
Makes it easy.
If they do events at the Greatest Bar again, you and I, Colin and I haven't been back. We used to do a show.
Yeah.
We should actually cue that up at some, like
That would
to
be
get
hilarious.
to here to be in like a big fancy studio.
Yeah.
We used to do a show at the Greatest Bar every
Oh, I
other
didn't know
Friday
that.
night
Yeah.
live.
Really?
Yeah.
Live.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yep.
And we would go and it'd be hilarious because they would have a DJ playing music.
Wow,
So
we're
we'd be like,
recording.
Good Friday night, am I right, everybody? And the people can't really hear us
Chris
'cause there's
Brown in
all-
the background.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have come a long way here.
Oh man. Oh,
Not to say anything about the Greatest Bar. They're
No.
unbelievable.
Great.
They're
But in terms of a podcast set,
Right.
Yes.
to have that environment
Yes.
compared to now,
Exactly.
I mean, we used to do this thing in my old storage unit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, on a couch. All right. So,
Freak out.
yeah.
someone's coming to buy one of your couches, you're flipping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, truck pulls up.
It has one sec.
Yeah, call give me 2 minutes.
This
here.
one's going to cost you extra. 'cause
Yeah.
We've shot live.
We've already pressed record.
Yeah,
Okay, I can't end it. It's a nightmare to edit. All right, God. Yeah, so it's been a long time coming. So we'll have
Yeah.
to do next event, Greatest Bar. It'll be hilarious to have you and I go back there.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be
next
a
question.
flashback moment, you know?
And it's great for like the games. I mean, we'll go there like when the Celtics or Bruins are playing, and it'll be like a big watch party.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, especially like the Bruins. I mean, they score. Everyone gets around the Cellies. I mean,
Right.
Right. No brainer.
As a
Yeah.
Celly?
I mean, come on.
Come on.
It's a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
I think you said it a while ago, like, the partnership with the Bruins needs to happen.
Because
Because isn't that the hockey lingo?
That's the
have
hockey
a
thing.
contact.
You score, it's a Celly,
We
right?
had Lucci.
I was just gonna say-
I know.
2 weeks ago, dude.
Sitting right where you guys are sitting.
Right.
We
We
got
had Lucci.
Luch, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Celly, dude. It
makes
get the little
the
label
perfect
of
sense.
like the Connor Bedard Celly.
Yes.
out there or something.
It would be
Exactly.
incredible.
See, now we're talking.
Now see the balls rolling.
I know.
boys.
I
Let's
know.
go.
Yeah.
Luch, if
So-
you're watching, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
It
It
makes
does.
sense.
It
Yes.
does.
Final few questions for you here. If someone's like, okay, I'm out at a bar, I'm gonna get a high noon. What would you say to them to get them to try Celly?
Celly instead? I think there's a few things. I think a big selling point is the carbonation level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
it does seem lower.
Yeah,
like, it
it
does seem a
is.
lot.
Yeah,
Normally,
it
I'm
is.
like, if I was to drink one, you would hear me actively burping.
Yeah, no, that is like a huge thing for us, and we've heard that from so many people. I mean, at the bar or prior to going out at the pre-gaming, they're like, we have like 2 or 3 seltzers and like we're bloated, but we can have a few more Cellys and
your
we're
G
okay.
button is like,
exactly, and we're okay. And so that's like the biggest selling point. And the second one I would say, which is a pretty big thing, is we use combo flavors for every one of our cans. And like, not to bore you, but like if you have 2 flavors and it work well together, that like can actually convince your palate that it's like a more tasty beverage. Those 2 flavors work together. It actually creates a better tasting product. The reason why a lot of brands don't do it is because it's more expensive. You got to have 2 flavors. You got to buy 2 flavors.
You guys not cutting corners.
No, we're not cutting corners because we really want to be like that premium cocktail without the premium price tag.
Right.
So we're not cutting corners. Like, we really want to create the best possible product, and we feel like we're doing that. So those are kind of the 2 biggest things. It's that carbonation level. It's the combination of flavors, which really bring out like a better tasting product, and you can kind of taste that taste profile is a little bit elevated.
Right. If you're watching this, you see the party pack in front of us. What flavors are in the party pack? Is this got to be what's the hottest seller too? Is the party pack one of the hotter ones?
It has to be the party pack. Just in the space, we've been hearing it's like 70 to 80% of all volume is typically variety packs like this party pack here. 8-pack, 12-pack, variety. So we have for flavors, we have the blueberry pomegranate, which won Best Local Seltzer Boston Magazine.
Wow,
not
here
a
we
big
go.
deal.
No big deal.
That's amazing. We should have started with that.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Yeah, I know.
And then we have the mango pineapple and then the black cherry lime as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that party pack, that was like a really interesting story here. Quickly, we had we were trying to get this out for like July 4th weekend this past summer, and with supply chain and everything, boxes were taking a while.
Right.
We were rushing frantically, and we ended up getting like a text or an email that like the boxes arrived, and it was like this was like a Monday night at like 7 o'clock at night or something, and we literally like called our dad and we're like, hey, look, like we need to go pack these out if we want to get this into circulation for July 4th weekend. So our facility is like 7.5 hours away. And so like
You guys dogged it.
literally, I'm not even joking. Like we literally looked at each other like we have to do this. Like if we don't go today, and it's going to take us a full day of packing this out, it's not going to get done. We're not going to get this out there. So we all loaded up in the car. It was my dad, us, and then my younger brother, who's like 17 right now. And
got roped into the...
He got roped in. He like loves it. He's also like a unit. He's like 6'4", 275. So we needed to bring the muscle here. We needed to bring the muscle. But we just got in a car, drove 7.5 hours, literally got to a hotel at like, I don't know, like 4 o'clock in the morning, slept for like 2 hours, got up, went to the facility, literally hand packed out like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of variety packs so we could ship them to our distributor and get it into circulation.
Wow.
Awesome.
So that's just like kind of like the tidbits of like being an entrepreneur. Like it does seem like very like flashy and cool. You can like sit in your laptop and like on a beach somewhere, make a lot of money.
Right.
But there's a lot of
the
stories
work
like that.
ethic has to be
Has to be there.
100%.
And especially, it seems like it's running in the family. So with all 3 of you guys ready, it seems like no question, 7 hours.
Totally.
Dude, fuck it.
Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah.
We're going.
We're going. Yeah. Next question.
Me and Tyler just looked at each other and we were like, yep, let's
let's go.
Gotta do it.
That is
go.
the less
Easy.
glamorous side that never gets
Never
any
shown.
press. Like you would almost see that's the stuff you should almost document.
100%.
And film, because it's on Instagram. All you see is like, you're right, the laptops at the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
How to make 7 figures in 1 month.
Exactly.
Selling this course. Or
The
something.
gurus.
But that doesn't happen for 99% of people. And we're doing all this for Celly, and we're still not like taking money out of the business. We're putting everything back in.
Right.
And we're still not at the point where like we're like a national brand. We're still a very small local brand, but we're doing all of that to one day eventually get there.
Right. I think the thing that at least I hear on the internet a lot is you'll listen to a lot of these guys and girls that have already made it. They've made their millions, and now they're talking about what their day-to-day looks like. So it's like, I wake up, I journal, I meditate. But when they were our age getting started, there wasn't this healthy balance of activities. It was like, no, I just wake up and I go right to work. There's no. But now that I have,
Yeah, and there's a lot of
9
talk about like
figures in the bank.
work-life balance, and I think actually it was Jeff Bezos who maybe made this comment. But instead of like work-life balance, you almost have to think about it like work-life harmony, because your business, when you start a business, it is 100% attached to you. There's never a moment where you are not in some way, shape, or form at least representing the brand.
Right.
A lot of times working, I mean, it'll be 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm, checking an email, responding to something on LinkedIn,
Right.
like or having an idea, jotting it down so I don't forget in the morning. I'll be out at a party somewhere and I'm getting, information to me. So you're always doing stuff and you're always representing the brand. So
Right.
it really is like a 24/7 commitment.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those people that like, I just want to have a 9 to 5, by the way, there's nothing wrong with that.
Totally.
People like kind of demonize that now and
Right.
say like, oh, you just like have an office job, like stable income, like that's what are you doing?
Right.
But like a lot of times that actually fits people's lifestyles much better.
Totally.
And I think we need to kind of get back to that. And I'm all for entrepreneurship. I'm so in it, obviously, but it's not necessarily for everyone, and it's not a bad thing if it's not for you.
Totally.
So kind of like opening people's eyes to like those other aspects of running a business and how
Yeah.
hard it can be. It is good because not only does it kind of level set, but if you were to start something, at least you come in now with the right realistic
Yes.
expectations of what it takes,
Not
because
the
that causes a
jets,
lot of
models and
anxiety
bottles.
when people start something and they thought it was gonna be so easy and they're getting hit every day with
Totally.
challenges. They're like, wait, I didn't think it was supposed to be like this. Is something
Right.
wrong with me?
Yeah.
So I think it's really good to at least have like a set level of expectations heading into it.
That's spot on.
And to your point, Tyler, I think that honestly, it's so important to pick. If you want to start a business, you need to pick what you love. Because there's going to be long hours. There's going to be times where, I don't know if I'm going to make it. But the passion is what drives you out of that hole.
Right.
So
Definitely.
peaks and valleys, right?
Yep.
So
I like the Dana White line where he's like, a lot of people are, like you said, demonizing 9 to 5. He's like, wait till you go to work for yourself. Now it's 24/7.
Yeah, well,
there's no holidays.
They say like, if you love what you do, you won't work a day in your life. But if you love what you do, you're gonna work harder than anybody else doing anything.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
really what it is.
100%.
You're gonna work way more. Dude.
100%.
Look at all of us just diarrhea work clothes. and I'd like to add M equals MC squared, I believe.
Live free or die. Am I right?
and live, laugh, love, most importantly. Am I right, guys? Oh my God, I freaking love that.
Yep.
Celly, you can find them in Boston. Where's some of the hottest bars? It's Greatest Bar, Loco, soon to be Hunters. Courtney, what's the deal?
I know, Courtney. Come on.
Hello.
But no, yeah, Hunters, we're really working on right now. We're in Bootleg Special, which is kind of an interesting spot, like in the South End. So that's a great bar for us. But right now, we kind of focus, and I was telling you guys earlier, like we didn't try to go into too many spots too early.
Right.
Because we need to be in there actually moving the product. We don't want to just get into a bunch of bars and have it sit there. We want to be in there helping it sell.
Right.
So, we're in one in Assembly Row as well, but we've kind of like in one in like every area.
Okay,
And
yeah.
now we're really starting to build it out and get into more spots.
If someone lives out of state, I'm thinking like Pennsylvania or something, can they order this online? You can ship it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we actually just set that up, last week? Maybe a week and a half ago? Yeah, so we have a link in our Instagram bio. So if you guys are out of state,
perfect.
if you guys want to try some Celly, what's stopping you?
Hello. Link in bio. Now we're talking. And then real quick, too, just give me the price points. Like if I was to go in and buy the party pack or the 4-pack, where do we sit price point wise, and where does that stack up against competitors?
What is something that's so incredibly cool that we've done is we've been actually able to price our party pack and our 4-pack oftentimes $1 or $2 cheaper than those billion-dollar
here we
brands out
go.
there. So it's local, it's family owned. We won Best Local Seltzer, but we're also $1 or $2 cheaper.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah,
Tastes
we want to be
better
like
and cheaper.
Exactly.
This is
That's it. So we really want to make it like a no-brainer to switch over because
Right.
it's hard getting people to switch over from what they're familiar with.
Right.
But if you have all those puzzle pieces that we've been talking about, it's possible. And yeah, so we're in all the local spots, anywhere in Boston that you are living in, or up in New Hampshire, North Shore, Massachusetts. You can find Celly, and if it's not in the liquor store or bar that you're at for whatever reason, the best thing you can do for us is ask about it. Hey, can you guys,
I was going to say,
Celly?
choke out the cashier.
Yeah.
But ask about it's probably the better
We'll start
way to
with
go.
asking. We got to know then, but that's the best thing you can do is asking about it and telling your friends about it. 'Cause
Right.
word of mouth, that is really how these things, start to
Totally.
grow.
Hell yeah. And at Celly on Instagram, right?
At Drink Celly.
At Drink Celly.
At
And where
Drink
can everyone
Celly.
find both of you?
Yeah, so just @_ John Dooley. I had to think about that for a second. @_ John Dooley, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, and then I'm just at Tyler Dooley _.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, we're super open to always connecting with people. If you want to start your own thing and you have questions, if you want to get behind Celly, connect, whatever. Like we're always so open to that.
Right.
So any questions or just wanting to connect, like we're so up for it all the time.
God, I love it.
Beautiful.
Unbelievable. What do you think? Now you're done that can?
Isn't it?
Isn't it so good? Aren't you almost
about to grab this one, but the marketing is just like
the mango pineapple is really
Isn't
nice.
it unbelievable? I'm actually
on, I was
very
trying to be
excited
respectful.
to get back into the Southeast scene a little bit.
Yep.
You know, Look
at this.
I am. Think about it. If I know, you know me, there's got to be.
How long have these been in
Great question.
Loco and all these other spots?
About a year. Yeah,
Okay.
just about a year.
Oh yeah,
And
this shit's about to.
Would
Yeah,
you? So he's a heavy Bud Light guy.
yeah.
Because I just keep it light.
Make
You
your
know
own.
what I mean?
Make your own assumptions. No, I'm kidding. Would you, being a beer lover, would you now leave Bud Light and would you pick up?
I would definitely
Celly?
switch
You
over
might
to
have pulled
this.
me back.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's easy.
Here we go.
It's easy because that's why I go for the Bud Light because it's easy. But Bud Light is easy with really no good taste. It's just
Right,
easy by
right,
itself.
right.
This is easy with a really
Tastes
good flavor.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's great to hear, man. That's like the
a
best
no-brainer.
thing.
That's
No, it really is, dude.
Flip
Because
that
that's why
right
that's why we'll stay on those light Miller Lite,
Yeah,
Bud
totally.
Light. We'll stay on a lighter beer because I don't want that aftertaste. But
Right.
you get none of that with
Yeah.
all the flavor.
Yeah.
With these sellers.
Isn't it ridiculous?
So no brainer.
Yeah, no brainer.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm in.
No, but you said.
I'm
remember
going.
you
All right,
said.
fine. Tomorrow night.
Yep.
Done deal.
Might have to check with Ash first.
Yeah.
He's not
I
coming.
need 2 to 3 business days. I will. Let's make a pact. Actually, right now we can document the whole thing.
All right.
What are you guys doing tomorrow
And you
night?
guys are right down the road.
I think Loco.
I think,
To be honest.
Loco has to
We're there.
We're there.
We're
All right.
there.
So,
I love it.
hello.
Yep, lock
Tomorrow
it
night.
in.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
Boom. Well, ladies and gentlemen, drink Celly at everywhere. Soon to be at a bar near you. If it's not, cuss out the manager, all right? Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, cheers, boys.
Hell
Appreciate
yeah.
you guys having us on. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
We'll do this over and over and over. Hugs and kisses, gang. This is the No Limits Podcast. Love you.